Food security, Federal Executive Council approves funds for stocking grains reserve.
If there's an emergency anywhere in the country, or there's a shortage or a flood and there is no food, we can draw from what we have in the silos.
Stop unpatriotic and desperate opposition politics. Federal government cautions PDP.
I believe out of every 10 phone calls you receive here as a parliamentarian, 8 is about people's personal problems.
Senate urges federal government to declare emergency on unemployment.
And on Good Morning Nigeria today, we are revisiting the Lake Chad, matters arising.
Save Lake Chad to save humanity seems to be Nigeria's slogan now as the country mobilizes the world to come to the rescue of one of the treasures of Africa, which is fast growing into extinction.
That's right, Jumai. Now, certainly it's no longer news that the Lake Chad, which had been the source of socio-economic life for about 30 million people in Nigeria, Niger, Chad, and Cameroon, has dried up considerably, and therefore leading to migration, poverty, and conflict.
From being one of the largest bodies of water in Africa, covering about 25,000 square kilometers in 1963, the Lake Chad has lost about 90% of its water and shrunk to about 1,350 square kilometers.
And that's, of course, a worrisome development that has prompted experts to point out that if immediate measures are not taken, the lake, of course, will completely dry up in the next 20 years.
It is devastating, Kingsley, to see that what used to be an inland sea with rich resources for fishing, floating islands that were home to varieties of wildlife and large communities of migratory birds has now become patches of weeds, ponds, and islands.
Yes, Jumaya. Now, the situation, of course, is making the lives of herders, fishermen, and farmers to tether on the edge, as it were, as the lake continues to dry up before their very eyes, leaving them miserable and dejected.
Nigeria is however not relenting in saying that something is done to save Lake Chad, as evident in the series of advocacy to not only draw attention to the issue but also find solutions.
It's become a permanent remark for President Muhammadu Buhari whenever and wherever he meets with those that he feels can be of help to the cause.
Well, that is gradually paying off, Kesley, as the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has accepted to help raise $50 billion for one of the projects that will recharge the Lake Chad.
Yes, that message of hope was brought by the president of the African Development Bank, Nigeria's own Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, recently when he broke the good news to President Buhari on behalf of the UN Secretary General Guterres.
Well, that is an indication that the world is responding to the Save Lake Chad campaign, which the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization once described as ecological catastrophe.
All right, so what is the current development in terms of the advocacy to save Lake Chad, and which of the possible remedies are stakeholders likely to settle for? And when will the fundraising for the recharging of the lake begin? And where will that be? And how much funds will most likely be attracted? Who will be in charge?
These are some of the questions our guests shall try to provide answers for on Good Morning Nigeria today. I am Jumma Yusuf, welcoming you to the program, reaching you live from the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
And I'm Kingsley Osadolo. I thank you also for being with us on the program. As usual, we have our regular complimentary segments, and these include newspaper review, business, and others. In the meantime, let's take the morning news, and here is Elizabeth Stober. Hi, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Kingsley, and good morning, Jumai. Here is the early morning news. The Federal Executive Council has approved more than 9.4 billion naira for the purchase of assorted grains towards reinforcing the nation's grains reserve. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audu Obe, announced this at a media briefing after the council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari.
There's an emergency anywhere in the country, or there's a shortage or a flood and there is no food, we can draw from what we have in the silos and distribute to needy areas of the country.
President Muhammadu Buhari has accepted the invitation of King Salman bin Abdulaziz, the ruler of Saudi Arabia and custodian of the two holy mosques, to perform the Umrah Lesser pilgrimage in the kingdom. To this effect, the president, accompanied by close personal aides, will embark on the journey today. A statement by Garba Shehu, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, says the president is expected back in the country on Tuesday, 21st May. Umrah is an optional but recommended pilgrimage to Mecca that can be made at any time of the year. The federal government has strongly decried what it calls increasingly unpatriotic and desperate opposition politics being played by the PDP and its presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, while briefing journalists on the trend, warns that such dead-end opposition could be toxic for the nation's democracy if left unchecked.
Either by themselves or via their proxies, the PDP and its presidential candidate are doing everything possible to sabotage the Buhari administration, generally overheat the polity, and make Nigeria seemingly ungovernable, especially through their public utterances and their poorly thought out press releases.
The Presidential Election Petition Tribunal is now to hear a formal application on whether President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Zainab Bulkachua, should recuse herself of the chairmanship of the tribunal. The motion is to be taken on Wednesday, 22nd of May. This is part of the outcome of the day's sitting at the Court of Appeal. The Senate has advised the federal government to declare emergency on unemployment. The lawmakers at Wednesday's plenary described unemployment and poverty as Siamese twins that exist side by side, advising that the fight against one naturally checks the other.
Urgent measures to stimulate production and other economic activities to engage young citizens of this country. I believe out of every 10 phone calls you receive here as a parliamentarian, 8 is about people's personal problems.
Is that the poor man is very, very helpless. Even if you create opportunities for employment.
The recovery of stolen assets in Nigeria has now been made easier following an amendment by the House of Representatives to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) Act. The lawmakers passed the bill at Wednesday's plenary. And that's the news for now. Good Morning Nigeria continues with Jummai and Kingsley. After this time out, stay with us.
It's Ramadan. It's okay to share what you love. Ramadan Kareem from Indomie. Indomie Super Pack now available at 85 Naira.
NTA Television College Jos announces admissions into 2-year diploma programs in film and television production, television engineering, and broadcast journalism. The sale of funds will commence on the 13th of May and run through 30th July 2019. Admission forms can be obtained from all marketing offices, NTA State Capital Stations, zonal centers, or at the office of the Academic Secretary, NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos.
On payment of a non-refundable fee of 7,500 Naira in bank draft in favor of NTA TV College. Applicants can also obtain the forms through the NTA TV College portal at www.ntatvc.edu.nj.
Applicants are required to possess 5 credits in GCE or SSCE in relevant areas of study, in not more than 2 sittings, including English and mathematics. All properly completed forms attached with photocopies of credentials must be submitted on or before 30th July 2019. For further inquiries, please visit our website at ntatvc.com or call 0803-3144-383.
NTA TV College, training you to be the best you want to be.
Registrar, Announcer.
Ọmọ òní ní kò gbé tí wá kò ń jẹjẹ. Ó ti kábàámọ̀. Àbùkù òní kọ̀ ẹ́ o. Ayé òní rí ẹ mú o. Òní dàmú. Òní ṣìrìn. Òní rí mi. Ó yà wọnú ògo tuntun lọ. Ẹlẹ́dàá mi. Ẹ tàmí ń kọ́. Ṣé ìwọ ti rókun tó gbẹ̀rí? Kò lè gbẹ́ bí. Àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ó yá fi sí spíkà. Ẹ̀bùn látọ̀mù mi gbé wá fèmí. Ọlọ́run á ràn yín lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin náà lè ṣe wẹ̀ fún mi.
Get 5 times your recharge value to call all networks without restrictions. Recharge and dial *234# to enjoy this offer. Available to new and existing customers.
Ìwọ náà borí ẹ̀ wá kó wá gbàdúrà. Á dáa fún ẹ. Ṣé orí bó.
Airtel, the smartphone network. If you hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter, that might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words. Run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous report.